Well, Alan, thank you for coming on the Red Carpet Roundtable podcast. Would you let everybody know about yourself?
Yes, indeed. Everybody, welcome to one of the best shows on the TV screen or on your computer, guys. I'm super psyched and excited. But my name is Alan Bonilla. I am an actor, director. I am also many other things in the business that I keep secret, because if I told you, you know what I had to do to you.
Well, I want to dig into Alan, of course, looking at my notes. What drew you to storytelling, and then when did you realize you wanted to pursue both acting and directing?
Actually, it came in steps. So I knew, well, I didn't know, not in high school. In high school, I was actually, long story short, I was actually a problem child. Like I really was. And my grandmother, she noticed. She was like, "Hey, you got to do something. You got to get your grades up. You have to do something." And so she wound up and put me in theater. And I went to theater. I didn't like it at first. I actually would. I really just sat there, honestly, and just watched everybody else. But then as I continued to watch, they were very like those group of people. Let me tell you, those group of people are very hands on, right, and interactive.
Hmm.
So their acting techniques that kind of get you out of your shy, shell per se. So I end up having to be interactive. So I did it, and then that's when I got handed a piece of paper. It was some lines with a bunch of words on it, and they said I had to say this. And so I was like, okay, what I got to do is just to pass the class. All right, cool, I'll do it. Fine. So I did it, and then they was like, okay, cool, you're good. You're gonna be so and so. So they had cast me to be a certain character. At that time, I was just going with the flow, right? And then they would send us off into little groups to go over the paper, and then they would have contests. Well, whoever can say this without looking at it, wins this or gets this. And then, well, so whenever they said, "Hey, you get to leave class early if you can be off book," that was the term that was used. I said, okay, all right. So I made sure, right? I made sure that I was off book, right? First one to raise a hand, and I was off book. But little did I know we were preparing for a theater, a play. So man, when it all came together, um, you know, that one night that they had it because we had to do it a few times. I think like four times that day. Um, well, the real time started at 8 p.m. that day. So we did the performance, and then once we got done with the performance, when I say I did my part, did my role, then they were announcing people to come up for standing ovation and stuff like that. Well, um, man, I remember like it was yesterday. I
Oh,
walked up
wow.
to the stage when they called my name and they gave me a standing ovation. When I tell you they were clapping, they were it was amazing. It was okay. It was almost like a dream come true. But it was so much of a high, right? That I fell in love with acting. And so now I find myself chasing that same high, but in a different a different method now. You know.
That's
So
actually amazing.
that's how it started, man.
Amazing to get your grades better, and you got into the entertainment industry to pursue your goals and your dreams. A lot of people may be wondering is that were you ever thinking about going into the path of this career, or were you thinking, no, this is not for me?
Mhm, mhm. Well, I mean, no, I'd never thought about, even when I watched High School Musical, I never thought about being on TV. No. Actually, my childhood dream was to be a police officer.
Wow.
And I mean, I did everything in my power to try to be a part of that group, a part of that community. And I was hallway monitor. I was. Then they said I had to get my grades together. I was doing everything I could. I was on a police explorers program. Yeah, I did everything I could to try to be a police officer, but my path just went a kind of a different way.
And I think to me, God or whoever, whatever you believe in, if you mind me saying, helped you choose this path. We all have a purpose in our career in storytelling to change the community and help everyone understand the storytelling and
Yeah,
where we live in. So
yeah.
it's amazing what you're doing. Congratulations. Keep it up. I want to dig into is what is your defining moment that changed the way you approach your acting work?
My defining moment would have to be whenever I was talking with Runny Runny Hummel. She's a stallion in the acting business. She is a what we call an OG. She's one of the OGs, and she told me, you got to do this. You got to be better. You got to do this. You got to do that. And I said, well, dang, it wasn't this hard in theater. Well, then that's when I set my mind, my mind to focus on uh, film and television, because then I found out film is different from television.
Okay, and in that sense, you brought that up. Explain to the audience who's going to be listening to this or watching this, what do you mean the difference between film and television?
Yeah, man. First that was my defining moment. Well, when I found that out, then I started going down, looking, researching, trying to find out what are the differences. What am I doing
Hmm.
in theater as opposed to what's needed in TV?
Interesting.
Well, when I tell you there's split difference, they are different. As opposed to, I'll give you some examples. Theater, you have to project who you are, be one with the actor.
So true.
As opposed to TV and film. I told you, I told you what would happen if you did that again.
Hmm.
And now you're gonna reap the benefits.
I see.
With TV and film, you don't have to do all of that. The camera will catch everything, right? The facial expressions, the tone. You know, with film, right? With TV, um, just then, I didn't have to scream. I didn't have to yell to get my point across to you. I didn't have to do something. I didn't have to jump scare you to make you afraid. You were afraid by looking at me. You were you were you were scared by
Hmm.
figuring out what I was gonna do next, because I was so subtle. Because
Right.
I was so minimal with
Hmm.
my movements
Hmm. Hmm.
that you didn't know what was gonna be next. But that's the whole point. The fear of the unknown.
Hmm. So my next
So
question is do you believe theater is a good way for beginners?
yeah, yeah. I would never. Yeah, I would never say no. So yeah, I would say theater is a route. Theater
And
is a
around the
route, but just keep in mind
hmm
that theater is also a profession. So yeah, where you think it is a start, it is also a heavy hitter. So
hmm
I don't want people to think and undermine theater as if it's not some big thing, because theater was and still is a big deal. People
hmm
stop TV just to go back to theater, right?
And to me, it seems like you might be saying theater really is good for beginners, and you can correct me, is
You
because
could say theater is you could
it's
say TV is it's for beginners too,
well,
but
the reason I say theater
it
is
depends on the caliber in which they are in.
yes, yes, but
See?
the reason I say theater is good for beginners, if you mind me saying, is that a lot of young people, even people who are getting into it, they feel like that if you make a mistake on stage in front of the audience, everybody on the set will follow along and keep going. There's no cut or continue. You can correct me, but again, that's one thing that gets them motivated, other than like you said, you have to raise your voice. And I know on screen is that you have to cut, you have to memorize your line and continue again.
Well, let me address that. So as you just stated, in theater, they say that it's easier because you can just keep going and roll on with it. You're right. You're right.
hmm
Right? But the pressure behind the curtain of your
Mm.
director, of your staff, of your people that only practiced with you, that knew your line, which was their cue, it, it's a messy soup. It's a messy
That's a
soup
good point.
because, yeah, where you figure your line wouldn't matter to the audience, it's not the audience who's
It's
working
your
with you.
crew.
And if you throw them off and off cue,
hmm
it ruins the whole production. So
Yes.
really sit back and think about it. Is being in front of thousands of people and forgetting your
Me,
lines
I
to cue the other
to be
actors
honest, you see me in theater,
easier or harder?
it's harder.
Exactly, because they're gonna forget their lines because they don't know what you just did. That wasn't the cue that y'all worked on for weeks, and now
hmm
the 5,000 people are watching everybody mess up.
Yeah.
So
You'll never, you know, you're right, Alan, but you'll never see me on theater, just being honest.
no, it was just an example.
No, I
It
know.
was
I'm
an
just
example,
saying.
but yeah.
I'm just saying. You know me. I'd be like, Alan, nice knowing you. Peace.
Yes. And now with TV is where it's easier because you can
Yes.
mess up on your line
hmm
and they actually have somebody hired to just give you the line. So if I mess up, line, oh, it's you can see me in. Okay. Okay. All right. You can see me, right?
hmm
Line, oh, see me, right? Can't you? Okay. You can see me, right? Can't you? You
Right.
get what I'm saying? You
hmm
get it from them. But there are techniques that you learn in business, right? That you're
hmm
supposed to do while filming. If they don't cut, you're supposed to keep looking at the camera because what's going to happen is that mess up part that you messed up on is going to be edited out as if it never happened.
Interesting.
Okay. So that's where you can, it's easier because they have somebody hired. Yes, they expect you to know your lines, but does it happen? It does. And nobody's perfect.
Right.
So when you ask for a line, they give it to you, they cut that part out, and it's like you never happened. So the people that are watching the TV, I suppose, like theater, it was 5,000 people that are watching TV are watching it and never knew that you messed up at
Mhm.
all.
Right.
But remember, it's not about the people, it's about the people you're working with. Because now
Amen. That
their
is so
work, you
true.
even though you messed up,
hmm
you don't ever think that that's not being noted.
Yes.
Because
That's
if
so
it
true.
becomes a habit, it becomes a conversation.
Mm.
And the acting business is very, very small. When
Yes.
you really, really work in it, it
Yeah.
becomes very, very small, and everybody knows everybody.
Amen. That is so true. That is so true. Um, now, um, everything we talked about, we'll come back to it if we have time, but I want to dig into, before I forget, what is any upcoming project that Mr. Allen is allowed to share, you directing or acting in it? The floor is yours.
All right. Well, I always get choked up when I go to talk about me. No, but man, I have been working as much as my agent would allow. Um, some people and some independent directors and things like that have reached out, but the most recent ones that they've reached out about, one being Rolling Thunder. That
Mhm.
is one that is going to be a TV show. I can talk about that a little bit. I am a Texas Ranger that, well, I turn into a Texas Ranger, but fearless, old school, careless, and will lock anybody ass up because I've
Interesting.
been doing this over and over and over. But then comes along my partner. He sees something different in me, and he's real. You know, he's religious. He's real religious. He's a cop too. He's a Texas Ranger as well. But we go to do some extraordinary stuff. And when I tell you, jam packed, full of action.
Wow. And if you mind me asking, when is this coming out if you're allowed? I know you don't, I don't want you to say too much because you signed all that stuff, but
Understood, understood.
when is it coming out?
I can't say when, but
Okay.
I will say close to the end of this year, maybe, maybe.
Okay. Everybody pay
You can
attention.
watch it for it.
Everybody pay attention to
Absolutely.
Alan. Alan, of
Yes,
course. And don't worry,
yes,
everybody.
indeed.
Alan's always welcome back on my show. But
Don't
continuing to,
forget, don't forget the other movie, the movie Unraveled Vows that
yes,
just came. That
that's what I was
one's
about to get
dropping now.
into.
That one's dropping. So that one's about to come out. It's a movie, and let's just say I'm a very powerful politician.
Okay.
And me being a powerful politician, I got a base that's so deep and rooted in Texas and
Wow,
very well spent.
that's a deep voice.
Yes, sir. That's because I run the city, I run the town, and people trust me with their lives.
That's a very good deep voice, Alan. I don't think for me personally, I can get my voice that deep, but to me, it's so interesting
Hmm.
because when I say so interesting is that a lot of audience, fan base, do
Yeah,
not realize that the hard work we do is, I know I'm not an actor, so I can't speak for anybody, all the actors out there, but they don't realize, like, for example, you just did, they don't realize how deep a person's female voice or a male voice can go. They don't
absolutely.
realize all the hidden talents. And to me, what kind of bothers me, and I know I mentioned this in the past of my show, and I do say this sometimes with a lot of my guests, is that we as fans that we don't appreciate behind the scenes as well. And I'm getting a little off topic, I know I am, but when we watch films and we watch TV shows, you can say, "Oh yeah, great job, Alan. That's amazing. Everybody on set, amazing." But to me, I tell people, say, that was great, but let's pause for a moment. Let's look behind the camera. Let's talk about the camera crew, the lights
Yep,
crew.
yep.
And I tell people if that light wasn't there or this isn't there, then this, what would happen?
It
And
all
I feel like
crumbles.
to me, I feel like we're not um giving enough credit for the crew, the film crew. And
Absolutely.
that's to me, we're all a family. So it just amazing me that you see all this credits and all this awesome stuff that's happening.
Hmm.
And so I just want to say that I know I went a little off topic, but like I just want to say it's amazing and it's just how we should give credit to the film crew. And I know it's like everybody goes see a movie in a movie theater, and it's kind of like, wow, that's an amazing film, you know? And to me, I'd be like, yes, but you realize that wasn't made.
But just them.
No.
Mm-mm. Nope.
So it just bothered me that I usually, to be honest, me myself, is when I go see a movie in the movie theater, I stay to the very, very end of all credits. That's just me.
Hmm.
You know, I can't just force myself to stand after seeing the actor's name because
Hmm.
me, I want to, for example, if you're one of the light crew, you may not be there right away. It's gonna take a while. Oh, there's Alan, light crew, right? To me, I want him to say, hey, I'm acknowledging you,
Absolutely.
right? And like
Absolutely.
people are like, oh, you're acknowledging me. Because you never know if you see them in real life and say, hey, Alan, by the way, great job. You went on set, but great job on your light. And you're like, oh, I'm acknowledged. I said, yeah, but thank you. I'm being honest. Thank you.
I will add in this for you, a
Hmm.
little knowledge nugget. It may not look or seem like they are getting acknowledged by the fans of the film, right? Wasn't set up like that. But please rest assured that they are being acknowledged
Amen.
behind the camera, because
Yes.
what matters is the behind the camera crew, as the producer, the
Hmm.
director, the AD, the second AD.
And that's what I mean,
These
Alan.
people are
That's
the most important
hmm
people, but yeah, they're not on the forefront of the
no.
camera, right? But please rest assured they are being noticed,
Thank you for
and they
sharing
and
that.
they and they are definitely being provided
Right.
some recognition, because who gets taken care of behind that camera? I bet you, however much you want to bet, that they are always going to be
Yes.
working, they are always going to be referenced out to a project, and they're always going to be on set. As
Hmm.
opposed to an actor, yeah, they get to shine in front of the camera. Yeah, they get acknowledged. But that actor has to go find another job somewhere else.
Hmm. No, the
That
reason I
cameraman, that cameraman, and that lighting operator, there's always something going on. I promise you that they're gonna always be working as
yes,
soon as they get done
amen.
with that project.
I just want to say thank you. You're saying everything I was about to say too, but thank you, Alan. Thank you. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it. Alan, everything that you're doing, being a director and um, as yourself being an actor, you know, a lot of people must be wondering, including me. I ask everybody this who's an actor or an actress or a director. So my
Mhm.
big question is, do you like only one or do you like doing both?
That is not a hard question to answer. Um, Both of them have their own quality.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to tell a story by directing and moving things how you want it to tell a story, that's interesting, and that's something that keeps me on my feet, right?
Hmm.
So me, like when I was directing Vid Chronicles are short stories, short impactful stories. um, I found joy in doing that, because I could tell a story and I can make it as intense as I wanted, or I can make it as light as I can make. It's just the different options that you can do with people, as opposed to being the people that's doing the actions.
Hmm.
Because I can do the actions as the person who's acting, and then turn around and be the person that's directing the actor.
Hmm.
And to be on one side is to be on the other side, right? Because you can definitely see from the outside looking in on both sides. And when I tell you I like doing both,
That's amazing.
I can't you can't go one without the other. So I
Right.
can't say which one I like the most, because
Hmm.
but I will tell you, acting I've done longer.
That's amazing.
Acting I've done longer, acting I've learned more about, directing I still have more to go.
And what is your dream directing film you want to do?
Honestly, probably one of my own one day. An Alvin Bonilla production. Ooh, that sound. Ooh,
That down sound
ooh,
good.
that sound good. Oh, that was funky. Oh,
It was. You need to write that down.
I did. I did.
You know, a lot of things, with you doing your career as being an actor and being a director and enjoying your moment
Mhm,
and and realizing the change you're doing in your own community, your own nationwide,
mhm.
and connection through Instagram. That's how I met you and how you met me. Thank you,
Yep.
Instagram. It's amazing. But in realistically, defining your moment, if you could just pause for a moment in your life, and you mentioned your defining moment, but is there anything in your career that maybe changed you to a better person or shocked you? Was there ever a defining moment that really emotionally changed you as a person?
Yeah. Yeah, actually. Um, Being able to express myself um through roles just depends on the role that I get, right? Um, you got to make that role come to life. And in order to do that, some people use different methods. Alvena Chubbuck, um, the Meisner method, or sometimes people are method actors. But eventually, you have to find these emotions and you have to bring them to life. So I did have that defining moment, but that was throughout the career. And at some point, I did get an epiphany, and I did. I believe in Cheryl Sherrill's acting studio located here in Dallas, Texas. I had a moment where I found out where I would be getting these emotions from for the fourth wall. They come from my real life. They come from me experiencing these traumas, if that's what the role calls for. It comes from just a bunch of
Hmm.
raw emotion that you have to gather in order to bring an impact to the scene and be one with the role, not just be somebody acting the part. No, you have to be one with the role, and that means turn into whoever the hell that is. So yeah,
Wow. That is that's powerful what you just said, and it talks about your defining moment, and it to me, I love hearing actors and directors defining moments because you hear emotionals and tears and storytelling and all the moment they want to do, and that is powerful. So thank you for sharing that. It means a
absolutely.
lot. Now, a lot of people may be wondering, Mr. Allen, we already know you have a deep voice, but is there any hidden talents that nobody knows about, including your family? Is there secret hidden talents?
Um, I would just say maybe I may know how to freestyle and rap. Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
Okay, that's amazing. Maybe potentially you may be making your own music.
I play around with it every now and then. It might be on somebody's movie set. I keep hearing stuff.
People are gonna be remembering this. They're like, oh, by the way, Alan, we heard you can do music. What?
Oh,
Alan, it's what can you tell everybody who is in Texas about the film industry in Texas and how can they get involved for any young actors and actresses of any age, especially young teenagers and boys and girls, want to get in the entertainment industry? What's your advice for anywhere in the United States, especially your home state in Texas, and how can you help them?
Absolutely. Great question. I get asked this a lot. So I will give it to you like I give it to everybody else. It's important to first stop procrastinating. Um, every moment is a moment that you can start. Okay. Doesn't matter the age, doesn't matter the height, doesn't matter your weight. Um, find a time to stop and start. Okay. And next, as far as the film industry, and projects and things of that nature. Texas is a booming state. You do not have to move out of Texas to find work. You do not have to move to LA, Atlanta, New York to find work. It is here in Texas. Okay. Um, a lot of people make the mistake of leaving when everybody is coming to Texas for the tax credits and all of the other booming opportunities Matthew McConaughey has sent this way. I mean, for God's sake, Samuel Jackson is down here right now in Frisco, Texas, shooting a movie. What'd that tell you?
Hmm.
Now, for the youngins and people that are interested in getting in the film industry, it is important that you start training. Well, while training, you will see a lot of doors open for you. But I would start by going to KD Conservatory, located here in Dallas, Texas. That is KD Conservatory, located here in Dallas, Texas. Start with introduction to acting and then go from there. And there you'll be taught some of the most strategic strategies in the acting business from professionals you never thought you'd meet. Well, by doing that, you will also meet some executives in the business. You will also run into people that are in the industry as well. You will also be in a circle and people in that industry who are in the same business that will go on to do great things and remember your name. Again, get your training, be in the environment, be in the rooms, do things with actors. Because, like I said, everybody will know everybody.
Hmm.
And I promise you, they'll remember you.
That's so true. And also, if you mind me saying, Instagram is another key. Is it's not as great as what you're saying, but again, it's also a great way to connect to other actors in
And
your own state.
Instagram is a great networking tool, but
Hmm.
I don't use Instagram to find work. And I don't use any of the other platforms if it's not uh, protected and properly vetted. Some people are using my casting files. That's a rookie move. Some people are using the other ones where you pay to play. Anything you have to pay in order to get work, that's a scam. Backstage, not knocking them for what they do, but be very careful, be very vigilant of fake work and people portraying to be something that they're not.
Hmm.
If they are professional actors or semi-professional actors, I would definitely start looking at Actors Access or my or casting casting call
Yes, I've
is
heard of
another big
casting
one.
call and acting access.
Yeah, Actors
Amazing.
Access. So those are professional sites, and there are plenty more that you can look for work, or if you want to get cast in, something small, kind of build your
Hmm.
resume. That's
And
an
I totally
important
agree with
thing.
you. Instagram is great for networking, finding friends and community in your own state. And that's how you and I got connected.
Yep.
Thank you, Instagram. And so Alan, where can everybody find you on social media?
Yeah, so it's very simple with me. I keep it easy. It's Allen Allen Bonilla Bonilla on every platform, even Google,
Well,
IMDb.
that's
You know
true.
you type it in, I'll pop up.
Well, Alan, thank you for coming on. It means a lot. I appreciate you. Thank you for following me on Instagram. And I can't wait to have you back and talk about more of your other projects.
Well, I definitely appreciate you for having me on, and for everybody that's watching, make sure you go watch my movies.
Yes. And to make sure you guys watch Alan's movie and pay attention to Alan's movie and all that stuff. He has many more projects coming, so definitely pay attention to Alan. And definitely, I can't wait to have Alan back on my show. And thank you so much, Alan. I love your personality, so we'll definitely
Thank
stay in touch.
Absolutely. Y'all have a fantastic day. I'm out.
Have a good one.
Peace.
Bye-bye.